I came across an interesting and inspiring passage from the book called The Horse, the Boy, the Fox and the Mole. So the passage goes something like this. The boy and the horse were lost in the woods in the darkness. And the boy stopped and said to the horse, "I can't see a way through." To which the horse asked, "Can you see the next step?" To which the boy replied, "Yes, the next step I can see." To which the horse replied, "Then just take that next step." Sometimes we get into spaces in our life where nothing makes sense anymore, from career exhaustion to spiritual awakening and domestic misunderstandings and more. All this can come crashing down on you, leaving you lost. So what do you do from here? Where do you go? What path to choose? To hold on or to let go? The questions are endless, right? Well, here's a start. In order to see a clear way through, in order to find the power that you are looking for, you need to give your mind some clarity. It's crowded with thoughts and emotions and ideas and guilt and anger or whatever it may be. There's 60,000 thoughts going through your mind every day. You need to start letting them go. You know why you need to let it go? Because negative thoughts and negative emotions are addictive and contagious. And if you now realize that you're feeling lost and you're reaching out to find why you are feeling lost or how to find a way out, then that's the indicator. You're subconsciously telling yourself that if you don't get a grip of yourself fast, this feeling of lost might become a permanent burden you will be walking around with for a long time. When you're feeling lost, the best thing to look for is yourself. I don't mean superficially trying to look for some surface characteristics about yourself that you can correct. This allows you to feel good momentarily that you managed to identify these traits. And then, if you manage to work on them, then you will applaud yourself for the second time of your achievements for beginning to accomplish and correct one flaw after the other. That's all great. But what I'm talking about here is really taking a dive into the deepness of your memories and thoughts. Look at your life. Start jotting down timelines and patterns. I believe you will find so many answers out there. Get yourself busy trying to discover yourself this week, okay? Do some investigation on yourself, okay? Start writing down dates of when significant things occurred. Color code the event as per the outcome of the experience. Green, for example, could symbolize moments of joy. So the day you were born, your first day at school, prom, your first partner, your wedding day, birth of a child, all these feelings can be put in as joy, for example. The second category, for example, would be orange, maybe which symbolizes moments of success or accomplishments like getting a great job or opening a new business or winning something big or graduating college, okay? Another category could be blue for loss, financial loss, important friendships lost. Black could be disasters like death or divorce or prison. You can have as many categories and as many colors as you like. A different one for pain, a different one for betrayal, a different one for love. Whatever you feel best describes the personality of the emotions that you have to challenge through your life. Those could be your category. If your life struggles have been around relationships or around power and control, then those could be your categories. The idea is to have 5 to 7 strong categories of experience: joy, loss, achievements, disappointments, and so on. Now, since you're lost, and you're probably sitting around not doing much besides going back and forth in your thoughts about how lost you are or whatever reason you are lost for. In all this boredom of yours, why don't you give this experiment a shot? I'll tell you straight up, it will take a day or two if you're in a hurry and just want to play around with it. But if you really want answers to your life and a great advantage in your way forward, if you want to know what wave is next for you and so you want to be ready for it, then play around with this experiment. The worst that could happen is you'll see a pattern in your emotional cycle. Write all the events and experiences down. Date them from the closest date you can remember of it. Put it all down on paper or an Excel sheet or whatever software you use. If you do this properly, I promise you that you will see a color pattern. Of course, it will start with the color of joy from the day you were born. Then follow your color pattern. And if you are someone who is good with softwares, then you can have as much detail with this as you like. You can make graphs and you can make charts on your life experiences to see the color patterns. Look at these patterns, okay? Look for how often the color cycle repeats itself. Look for what colors appear more than others. Start decoding this information. Make your previous life such a focus for the coming few days, because this is where all the answers for your future are. Listen, it's a proven fact in many fields of study that the world revolves on an 80-year pattern. Hence the proverb, history repeats itself. And it will. And that's how the world has evolved and persevered, is because we know how to handle challenges and threats, problems and struggles. These are all choices and all part of life. I can guarantee you that even if you retain the most peaceful and the most calm life, struggle will still find its way to creep in. It will bring with it negative thoughts. So it's important to know what causes these downtimes, this despair, and how to be prepared for it and face it when it arrives again, in our lives or in the lives of our loved ones. So the first thing you're required to know to keep you well prepared about a downtime is, when is it coming? When will it be here? And I'll tell you, if you manage to really be sincere in making that life event sheet, you will know when the next disaster or the next downtime is headed towards you. If you don't get it down to the exact date, you will get it down to the week. If you don't get it down to the week, then you will get it down to the month. If you don't get it down to the month, then you will definitely get it down to the season. But you will know what's coming next just by looking at the patterns from the past. You can go further and look for some similarities of what happened prior to each downtime. Were there similarities in relationships or in your personality or where you lived? Were there similarities in some numbers? Are there number patterns? Are there name patterns? You'll catch something there. And then you can begin to connect the dots between your downtime and what sort of occurrences took place just prior to that. You can see some patterns of what happened after the downtimes, how long these gaps were for. Believe me when I tell you, there are so many answers here, and you are the best person to take a few dedicated days and do this exercise, because you are the only one who has all the answers to the journeys of your life. Only you know all the darkness, and only you know all the emotions that you've been through. So do this and see how your next 4 years are completely in your control. I'm making a big statement here, but I have my confidence of what I'm saying. Make that sheet, look for those patterns. Like I said before, focus on looking for the cycle of the repetition in colors. That simple observation will open up your world about yourself. There are a lot of things that you can do when you're lost. Things to make you feel better and get you back on track. You can hop over to the video on the screen for a session in which I talk about just that. However, right now, we are not talking about making you feel better or getting you back on track after a small diversion. Okay, we're talking about taking the first and the most important step before you can find any direction for anything you want to do in life. You first need to really understand yourself, your habits that create your life patterns, which dictates if you are living more on the happier side or more on the heavier side. There is no shortcuts to life. There is no instant acceleration or anything in a snap. This is your life, so please be worried about it and take matters in your hands now. Don't let chance toss you around. That's not going to work. Start this life event list. List each event by the closest date that you can remember it occurring. Make 5 to 7 categories of emotions that you feel dictated your life: abandonment, love, betrayal, blessings. List all the events by date and in the colors that best describe the event's emotion. Once you're done, or in fact, while you're working on it, you'll start seeing patterns. From there, you will know what to do. Sometimes you can't change the rhythms your life has been written in, but you can be prepared to ride the wave if you know when it's coming. Once again, I'll say, I know these exercises and tests sometimes feel like a waste of time, but it's a choice you can make. The goal is to move past where you are right now and live the best life you can, right? The choice is yours. Don't be overwhelmed by the task you're setting yourself up for. Don't worry about how to get there. Just take that first step. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I am saying you won't regret it. Be safe, be positive, and keep moving in the right direction.